distinguished audience, our civilization is at risk as we continue to embrace self-destructive economic values. The dominant economic model thrives on limitless consumption. It justifies over-extraction of resources and environmental degradation in the name of growth. We must shift towards sustainable economic models that prioritize people and the planet over the profit. The climate crisis poses an existential threat to humanity. In Asia-Pacific region, climate disaster-related economic losses are already enormous, which is equivalent to $65 billion. Climate-vulnerable countries like Bangladesh are forced to divert resources towards disaster response, limiting investments in productive sectors. We need new, additional, accessible, non-ODA, non-debt creating grant-based climate finance with an equitable distribution between adaptation and mitigation. Universal access to life-saving medicines and technologies must be guaranteed. The COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call, highlighting deep inequalities in global health system. Asia should take a united stand in ongoing negotiation of the pandemic treaty. Rapid strides in the data-driven technology, robotics, quantum computing, artificial intelligence are shaping the world. Lower capacity and resource mobilization in Asia compared to advanced economies could further widen digital divide. Data sovereignty and security remains critical concerns. If technology evolves irresponsibly, it could pose existential risk. Asia must close the digital divide and build regional capacity in technology, innovation, and incubation. On morality, governance, and human spirit. Asia's civilizations have flourished by embracing diversity. Over the centuries, the vibrant exchanges of cultural diversity has not only impacted on the region, but global influence. The melding of tradition and modernity, the respect for ancestral wisdom, alongside cutting-edge innovation, creates a dynamic energy that propels the region forward while honoring the deep historical roots. Asia's demographic dividend presents immense potential. A growing workforce, particularly young people, can drive innovations and productivity. We must provide them access to finance for entrepreneurship and sustainable solutions. Investing in human capital and in the education system aligned with the evolving global job market will shape Asia's future competitiveness. Women's labor force participation in Asia remains low. Gender gaps persist in leadership and decision making. We must remove barriers to women economic empowerment and ensure equal access to opportunities. In today's polycrisis world, wars and conflicts erode rights and disrupt economics. The genocide in Gaza continues despite global condemnation. The crisis in Palestine is not just an Arab or a Muslim concern, it is a humanitarian issue. The continued tension in Ukraine is heavily tolling on our global supply chain. The protracted crisis in Myanmar threatens regional stability. For more than 7 years, Bangladesh has been hosting over 1.2 million forcibly displaced Rohingyas who are Myanmar nationals. We continue to bear significant social, economic, and environmental costs. The UN Secretary General recently visited the camps in solidarity. While global efforts are drastically shrinking but continuing, Asian leaders must come together to ensure their safe and dignified repatriation to their home country, Myanmar. Distinguished audience, in this changing world, the destinies of Asian countries are intertwined. We must chart a clear roadmap for a shared future and a shared prosperity. First, financial cooperation. Asia must create a sustainable financial mechanism. Regional MDBs and similar institutions should lead this effort. We need reliable funds that address our challenges and meet our growing demands. Second, trade cooperation. Asia remains one of the least integrated regions. This weak integration stifles investment and trade. We must work to boost trade cooperation immediately. Third, food and agricultural cooperation. We must promote resource-efficient farming. Domestic production must be enhanced for food security. We need to reduce imports reliance and achieve self-sufficiency. Expanding tech-based sustainable agricultural solutions and innovations in regenerative and climate-smart farming is key. Finally, mobilizing intellectual resources and youth power must be at the center of our collective actions. We must lay the foundation for a new civilization, a self-preserving and self-reinforcing society. We must create a world of 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, and zero unemployment. Our economy should focus on social business, which is increasingly regarded as to chart the future of business, where innovation, purpose, and responsibility converge. Boao Forum and other similar initiatives in Asia should enhance collaboration of youth and entrepreneurs, and particularly youth entrepreneurs, to make Asia a better place for our generations to come. As I mentioned, always, every young person should grow up as a 3-0 person with zero net carbon emissions, zero wealth concentration, and zero unemployment through entrepreneurship and social business. This is the shared future we in Asia must create together. Thank you very much for your attention.